All right, man. So peace. So now, there's a very interesting little segment on a boxer named the brother's name is Kid Chocolate. All right, he's a boxer. He fights in the middleweight division, I believe, and he has some interesting comments about Kim Kardashian. All right, so now let's see what he has to say about her.
Pictures of Kim Kardashian's butt are causing quite a stir. I mean, people are going crazy over these things, especially one famous athlete's take on it. He has said something very strong criticizing these photos of Kim's butt, and you are going to hear straight from the man himself. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Evan here with Van and Michael J. Babcock.
What is it?
You saw the pictures of Kim Kardashian in Mexico showing off the butt. Nothing really gets the internet going like pictures of Kim Kardashian's butt.
I mean, she knows that. That's why we always see.
Yeah, that's right. Well, one person who had a very strong...
People have to understand, and there was a comment that was left for me about Kim Kardashian. I can't remember the brother's screen name, but he was asking me to talk about the Kardashians. I think he was trying to allude to, or he was trying to ask me why they had so much prestige. The reason why the Kardashians have so much prestige is because, believe it or not, they're a witch coven in Los Angeles. All right, they're probably the top witch coven in the United States as far as the entertainment industry is concerned. All right, because they don't even have any viable ability or talent. All right, so they've been able to climb up the ladder strictly from witchcraft. All right, that's why they like to hobnob or try to hobnob with a lot of the other witches in entertainment. But a lot of the other witches in entertainment, like Beyonce or Jay-Z or these other affluent so-called musicians, they really don't want to be confederate with them because they pretty much have not earned their stripes on the talent, from the talent perspective. All right. So, but the Kardashians, they are a witch coven, allegedly. All right. Let me add that. Let me throw that in there. Allegedly. Okay. And that's the reason behind the infatuation with their backside. And that's why they have to constantly inflate their backside. But we're going to go into that later because there's a method to their madness in regards to that.
Strong opinion is former WBO middleweight champion Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin, one of our favorite guys here on the show. We've had him on in the past. Great boxer, great dude. Look, he saw these photos and he decided to put up a post on Instagram saying, I know some people have a hard time being happy with what they're born with, or maybe I shouldn't even bring up what I think about this pic. I just have a hard time understanding the reason for modifying your body to look like this.
The reason why they modify their bodies to look like that is because they're witches, right? What a witch does is she or he tries to lure you in. Okay. Now the whole ass craze, believe it or not, that's in reference to a Luciferian practice known as osculum inflamme, if I remember correctly. Basically, what that means is it's a Latin term. I believe it means shameful kiss or kiss of shame, something like that, if I remember correctly. Basically, in the witchcraft circles, they worship the anus, they worship the backside or the butt, because they say that the butt or the anus, they say that the butt is the second face of Satan and the anus is the second mouth of Satan. So in the witchcraft circles, in the witch covens, they greet the representation of Satan, which is the god Pan, by kissing him on the backside, right? Or even putting their tongue in his anus, right? If you see a statue or any type of representation of the god Pan, a witch will kiss his backside or put her tongue up his backside. All right. Sounds far-fetched, but it is what it is. I believe it's called osculum inflamme. All right. I'm trying to remember how it's spelled. I think it's osculum and then inflame. All right. That's a practice in witchcraft circles in the veneration of the god Pan. And it's the reason behind the worship of the inflated backside that we see today. I believe it's also known as the serpent's breath or the dragon's breath, because they kiss the backside of the goat god Pan, and that's how they greet him. All right, so that's why you see a lot of these female entertainers like the Kardashians or Iggy Azalea or Nicki Minaj. They have the overinflated ass. That's why you see the mainstream media's infatuation with the backside of the woman, because that is a method in the witchcraft circles to greet the god Pan. Like I've said repeatedly, Pan is the god of this society. All right, the so-called goat god. Pan, also known as Ptah Min. All right, Min, another name for Cush. Going back to the ancient time, the god of the erect phallus. He's the god of pedophilia. He's the god of witches. All right. So that's what they're dealing with. That's why you see these issues with Kanye West. The Kardashians are what are known as MK Ultra handlers. What that means is that they have the keys to his alter egos. All right. Kanye West, as most people understand now, even basic people understand it. He pretty much gave over his spirit to the industry through the death of his mother. And even prior to that, just to get signed onto these record labels, you have to believe, or you have to sign a certain contract that denotes that you are that you are open to that type of lifestyle or life choice. All right, that witchcraft style or that witchcraft life choice. Pardon me. They did the same thing to Elvis Presley. What they do is they'll kill somebody like their mother, and what that will do is that will cause mental instability that will make them easier to put under mind control. That's why when they said that they took them to a psychiatric facility, what that basically means is that they're going to drug them and they're going to oftentimes put them under electroshock treatment. That's why there were records of Kanye West saying they're trying to kill me. All right. Same thing happened to the brother Donny Hathaway. You can look it up. Donny Hathaway was a famous soul singer from the 70s. He said that people were trying to steal his ideas, that he got kidnapped. And when he woke up, that he was tied to a chair and he had suction cups with wires attached to his head, and they were able to read his thoughts and get his song ideas. Suddenly, they claimed that he jumped out of a window. They threw him out of a window and they killed him, allegedly. All right. But he was thrown out of a window and he ended up obviously dead. All right. So it's very real. But let's see what the brother Kid Chocolate has to say about Kim Kardashian and the body image that she is pushing to the mainstream.
This and the impact it has on our culture, because the majority of women want to be followers and have a behind like this.
Well, it's true. The majority of women do want to be followers, but that's why you have a ideology called feminism. What feminism does is it tries to teach women that they're not followers, that they're leaders, and that they're the ones who establish culture as opposed to follow it. And that's not true. The woman by nature is a follower. She follows power and she follows prestige. That's just their nature. All right. So what feminism was set up to do was to make the woman think that it's their idea to dress like this. All right. Now, obviously, your body is going to become an issue based off how you dress when you're constantly revealing your body. So understand the body image issue that American or westernized females have is an offshoot of the clothing issue that they have. They dress inappropriately. So because they dress inappropriately and show off their body, therefore, how their body looks becomes more of an issue because they're showing it off to the world.
Like this. He basically says, I think we should worry about the genetically modified foods we're eating instead of modifying our bodies.
Yeah, that's true. But brother, that race ended a long time ago. They've been using genetically modified foods and giving it to the populace since the 60s. Right? When they came out and said that we're using genetically modified foods, I think that they came out with that in like the early 2000s. That means that they've been giving it to the people for 30 years and nothing has happened. At least nothing discernibly terrible has happened. So they just told the people, this is what we're going to do. All right. That's just what's been going on for years. The Nazis were dealing with with cloning and DNA manipulation. Their scientists were brought over to America or to the Americas in the late 40s, early 50s. It's known as Operation Paperclip, Operation Rat Run. They've been the ones presiding over a lot of the social engineering in America since then. A lot of the scientific achievements, NASA, the changes in food, things of that nature. All right.
bodies. To me, that came off as somebody saying,
he don't even know what to say. He's mumbling and stumbling because he's such a simp. He's trying to figure out a nice way to say that Kid Chocolate is kind of overstepping his bounds on telling women how they should look. Now, this female clearly has she's clearly under mind control herself, and it is very common for mind control handlers to also be mind control victims themselves. All right, you can look at her and see that she obviously has she has an issue with herself when she looks in the mirror because her body dimensions don't match her legs. All right. The backside that she has genetically, or part of me that she has surgically modified, doesn't match her legs' ability to carry it. So she looks absurd.
For a role model like Kim Kardashian to flaunt a butt that looks like it's fake is a bad message to send to young girls. Is that kind of what you guys are getting to?
Yeah,
That's how I took it. Yeah, well, to get to the source, we actually have Peter joining us on the show right now. Peter, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me on today.
Is that a pretty accurate description of what you were trying to say, that you think that Kim showing off her butt like this is a bad role model?
Yes, I exactly what I'm trying to say, because, you know, a lot of people don't get to hear about the stories with the ladies who can't afford that kind of work to get done, but they lose their lives in return.
Well, that's because the ass or the backside has become an idol in this society. All right. That's why they do that. All right. A woman losing their life over ass shots, that's no different from a dude losing his life over his sneakers, or over his chain, or trying to hold down his block selling drugs. Those are idols. All right. Whenever you're willing to lose your life over an idol, that means that obviously that's something that you put on a pedestal, that you hold in high esteem. Like I said, the whole ass craze that you see from the Kardashians, and they glorify it, Iggy Azalea and J-Lo and Nicki Minaj, that is a underhanded way to promote the so-called kiss of shame, the worship of the ass through the god Pan. All right, believe it or not, it might sound a little out of bounds, but it is what it is. That's also why you have the promotion of the mainstream media of the twerking thing. Twerking's been around from the late 80s, early 90s, as far as, you know, dances that were going on in the so-called black community. But they started heavily pushing it, I would say, about 6 or 7 years ago. And they were using a lot of Caucasian female artists like Miley Cyrus and Iggy Azalea, people who are under mind control, who are monarch children. They were pushing it in this mainstream society. Why is that? Once again, the osculum inflamme. All right, the god Pan. You greet him by kissing his backside, or by the witch would put her tongue in his anus. The anus is viewed as the other mouth of Pan, the other mouth of so-called Satan or Lucifer, whatever you want to call that entity. All right, because they are connected. Satan and Lucifer are not the same entity, but they are directly connected with each other. Okay, in the witchcraft circles. Now, they have a night that they're celebrating tonight called Walpurgis Night. It's the German version of Beltane. That's how you know that it is a seasonal festival, because it's Walpurgis Night is like the eve of May Day. All right, which is Beltane. It's all the same thing. All right, but the Kardashians, they are a witch coven. Their job is to promote these ideas and these ideals to mainstream females in America. Okay, feminism was set up for that purpose, to totally bug women out. All these things have come from feminism. Feminism is what taught them to walk around half naked and say that they could do what they want. After they started walking around half naked, the competition became who has the best looking body. All right. So that's why these women are caught up in these surgical enhancements.
This is clearly striking a chord with you, right, Peter? I mean, it's something that affected you. You seem very passionate about it. Why is that?
Because she's one of those elite people in the industry that...
You hold her as an elite. She's not an elite. You hold her as such because she's on television. Instead of people analyzing how they got there or why they're there, they just take things at face value.
That, you know, a lot of women look for her for that kind of like inspiration and motivation.
And a lot of times people say, well, you know, how come these so-called black men are constantly getting with the Kardashians? They need the so-called black man because of his spiritual energy. Once again, they're witches. All right. They feed off of the energy of the so-called black man. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video. In the Wiccan or the witchcraft circle, the woman is held in higher esteem than the man. That's why you notice the Kardashian women will always take pictures together, but they will never have a picture with the son. The son is bugged out of his mind, and he's very resentful because he's not on the level of the women, because the women, they have the preeminence being witches. Right. I saw a photo where it was all of them, and they even had Kanye West's daughter North in there. Why? And not the son. Why? Because the women have the preeminence in witchcraft. All right. From the goddess Semiramis, right? Or the female Semiramis. She was also known as a Hecate. I remember one of her names was the goddess of witchcraft. All right. Which is what the Statue of Liberty is based off of. The goddess Hecate. Hecate. All right. But that's all it's about. It's just about the veneration of the backside.
Life, and
and ain't nothing wrong with a nice backside. Don't get it twisted, But this society, they put it as an idol.
I don't think we should get motivation from ass cheeks.
Hey, well, sometimes ass cheeks can motivate you, brother.
To be honest, you know what I mean?
Now, Pete, I've got a lot of respect for you, man. Big fan of yours. I think we all here are. But there are some people that can make a parallel there and say, you're a boxer. And
Yes.
what you do takes a lot of skill and an unbelievable sacrifice for your body and an incredible amount of talent. But it's essentially beating somebody else up. What would you say to people that would say, this guy is saying she shouldn't be, praised for that, whereas we praise athletes for doing things like that and football players for being violent in other sports and so on and so on?
Well,
That's apples and oranges. An athlete has to hone his skill. An athlete has to be born with the talent. As an athlete, you just can't go and get an operation and become a supreme athlete. Now, you can use performance-enhancing drugs. You can do that. But that has nothing to do with what the Kardashians are doing.
Well, I dedicated my whole life. I come from a struggle background. I come from nothing. And I took an actual skill, a talent like boxing, and made myself good at it. This is a straight skill that I had to keep. I had to go to the gym every day and try to, perfect what my craft. Now, we can try to compare that to Kim Kardashian. What does she do to be good at what she does?
She doesn't need a talent, brother. She's an elite witch. She's a witch. All right? This society is based off of witchcraft. Like I've said previously, so-called black people are going to realize that you are the real life Truman from the Truman Show. This whole thing is scripted. You're the only one who doesn't know it.
What would your advice be then, Peter, to Kim Kardashian? How can she be a positive role model to everybody out there?
See, now that sentiment is diametrically opposed to the basic tenets of this society. How can you, as a so-called man, ask another man about how Kim Kardashian can be a positive role model to this society when, according to feminism, a man does not have the right to tell a woman anything about how she should conduct herself? All right? That's what you allowed. A lot of you so-called men who are male feminists, that's what you allowed. You allowed that dynamic to persist. All right? That's why you have to pay child support now. That's why you get visitation rights to your children as opposed to having your children with you, because you allowed that.
Well, we got to look at, like Beyonce. Beyonce just got she just funded a college scholarship for the bold and creative women. We got
Oh, please. Beyonce, pansexual, closet lesbian, allegedly, top witch in the entertainment industry.
Alicia Keys, who don't wear makeup, who's making a statement.
Closet bisexual, monarch child. You should see her on the Cosby Show. That scene where she was being bounced on Bill Cosby's knee. Right? You can Google that. They had her dressed as a boy from back then. Right? Alicia Keys is a monarch child. Right? They gave her that last name Keys because the keys represent the different alter personalities. Her real last name is some Italian name. I can't remember her real last name.
Statement.
Oh, I shouldn't say that. Her real last name is, her dad is a so-called black man. I believe her real last name is Italian, but it's from her mom.
Statement. Got the age walk. We got Melinda Gates doing all the philanthropy work that she's done.
Oprah. Oh, man. Whew. I got to do something about Oprah. I got to do a video on Oprah. I already mentioned it though. She's another MK Ultra Monarch child. Her programmer's name was William Thetford. All right, Columbia University chief of psychiatry. He's the one who programmed her with her alters. All right, her name is Oprah is a mnemonic device. When they ask her what her name is or where her name come from, she lied and said, well, you know, my parents were going to name me Orpah from the Book of Ruth, but they misspelled it. That's a lie. All right. They gave you the name Oprah because Oprah denotes talking. Right. That's why she's known as the Queen of Talk. Right. In reverse, the name is spelled Harpo, which is the Greek god of silence. Right. That's why you'll always, if you look up the god Harpo, Harpo, which is an abbreviation of Harpocrates, he's always depicted with his index finger over his mouth with the shush symbol. All right, he's the Greek version of the Egyptian Horus or Heru. All right, Oprah's nothing but a robot. They always playing those letter games with her. That's why her network is called OWN, OWN, a reverse of NWO, New World Order. All right, all they do is play games with this broad. She's another representation of the so-called black mother goddess, like Serena Williams or Beyonce. They love taking the so-called black woman, putting her under mind control, and then putting her up as the mother goddess Isis.
Obama, and I would even say, look to her, you know.
And he also mentioned Michelle Obama, don't he? AKA Michael Obama, allegedly. But they killed Joan Rivers over that one.
Her stepmother,
allegedly.
Mother Caitlyn Jenner, who's like being a voice for a lot of transgender women, you know.
You see, this is where the so-called liberal black man, this is where he loses all the steam. He had a decent point, but now he's so liberal, now he's going to try to use Caitlyn Jenner as an example of somebody that Kim Kardashian should follow. All right, this is where you so-called liberal black men, this is where y'all lose all credibility, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like you got to be a voice for whatever reason that is, and stick with that. The only thing
So what? Maybe she's a voice for big asses. Right? If you're gonna put Caitlyn Jenner up there, you might as well put Kim Kardashian up as an advocate for the ass. That's the case.
thing I can do as an athlete and having a voice is be able to just be inspiration to those. And
no, as somebody who has a voice, your responsibility is to speak something of intellect, brother. I mean, you're on the right track, but you got derailed. All right. As soon as you mentioned Caitlyn Jenner and all these other people, you got lost. I can understand the other ones. You know, at least, you know, he's probably on that pro-black stuff. And then when you went to Caitlyn Jenner, you just lost all credibility. Like, come on, bro.
And try to help people be more comfortable. And I hope that Kim, through everything, she's comfortable with who she is. And if so, like I said, peace be with her. You know what I'm saying? There's no hate. And I'm not a judge. I'm not going to judge. I feel like...
You see, now he already backtracking. You judged from the point that you said that she wasn't a good role model, bro. All right? That's where you judged her. And there's nothing wrong with judging. All right? As long as you judge yourself by the same standards. And you have no judgment, you have no order. You have no order, you have total chaos. All right, you can't have that.
I feel like we're going to all be judged one day, and that's only by one God.
All right, let me ask you one more question before you go here, because we're running out of time, but I got to ask you one more question, man. When are you getting back in the ring? When are you fighting again? When are we going to see Peter? When are we going to see Kid Chocolate back in action?
When you look at about June or July, I'm getting right back in there.
You're going to fight Conor? You're going to...
Oh, good luck with that, bro, because the last time you fought Danny Jacobs, man, he beat the living hell out of you, man.
You're going to fight one of these MMA guys, Conor McGregor?
You know what? You know, I respect those guys and what they do. You know, if I wanted to fight one of those guys, I would try to go test myself and challenge myself at fighting MMA. And
Interesting. Do you think I mean, look, you're 33 years old. There are a lot of guys fighting MMA till they're 45. Do you think this is something you can really transition into?
No, brother, you can't. You know, just keep it with boxing, please. But anyway, you know, in regards to the whole Kim Kardashian thing, yeah, they are witches. California is probably the witchcraft capital state of America, which is saying a lot. And yeah, that's what the whole booty infatuation is. All right, that whole thing is just for the God pan. I might even include a photo or a picture to show it. All right, but that's all it's really about. All right. So now peace. So now this is the continuation of the Kim Kardashian video where the boxer Peter Chocolate Quillin was addressing the over-infatuation with the with the butt or with the backside that's being promoted today through the Kardashian clan and through a lot of other female or famous female entertainers that are glorifying, that are using their backside to lure people in. It's a method of witchcraft. Remember, witches always practice enchantment. They're using their backside for enchantment. And this is an ancient example of that. A lot of these women today are the modern, when I say these women, I'm talking about the women who are doing these things to their backside. They're the modern personification of the love goddess, which is also the goddess of witches, who is known as Venus. All right. She's also known as Hecate, Hecate, the goddess of witchcrafts. All right. Or Isis or Astarte or whatever you want to call her. All right. That's what they practice in the Wiccan or the witchcraft belief system. They believe that the female is above the man. I touched on this already. All right. So this is specifically to the brother who was asking me about the so-called Kardashians. That's what it's about. Once again, they need the so-called black male because of his energy. All right. That's why when you see some of these so-called black males, they deal with them. And a lot of these black men are simple. They're silly. All right. The kind who come on the comments and talk about, oh, everything is not that deep and everything. No, it's just that you're not that deep. You're not that into what's going on. All right. That's why you don't understand a lot of the things that's going on around you. All right. This is why the so-called black man can always be set up and be manipulated, because he doesn't understand the energy that's within him in regards to the spiritual energy and also just the physiological energy, like I touched on before. Like the movie Get Out. They want to use the so-called black man's body because his organs are highly prized on the organ trafficking market. All right. As sex slaves, the blood of a so-called young child of color is of higher value when they sacrifice them to Baal. All right. Every so-called race does not have the same spiritual energy. That's not racism. It's just fact. That's how they view it. OK. So once again, this is an ancient representation of what's still going on today, which is the over accentuated backside. Here you see, like I was talking about before, the god Pan, the goat god. This is what's called riding the goat. All right. This is what's going to occur. Like I said, we're in a period right now of high level witchcraft, culminating tomorrow in what's known as Beltane. That's why I say watch out for any major stories that may happen tomorrow. It may not, but a lot of times they bring out major stories on Beltane, May 1st. Right. Tonight, April 30th is known as Walpurgis night. Walpurgis. This is the night of the high witches, where they bring in a lot of stuff that you're going to find out about tomorrow. All right. This also goes into what I was stating about Aaron Hernandez. All right. He was a sacrifice. And also notice, like I said before, they're riding the goat. The goat is the god Pan. All right. He's highly venerated. Here's another one of them riding the goat. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is what's known as osculum inflamme. OSCULUMINFLAME. All right. This is why you have the twerking craze now. This is why they're pushing the so-called twerking craze. All right. In the witchcraft circles, they viewed the backside or the ass as the other face of Satan. They viewed the anus as the other mouth of Satan. When a witch would approach the god Pan, they would approach and they would kiss his backside. They would kiss his anus. All right. Because they viewed that as his other face or his other mouth. It's called osculum inflamme. All right, this is old practice that goes back to the ancient world that's still being done today. That's why they're constantly pushing the veneration of the woman's backside. All right, or the man's backside. That's why they have those trannies twerking out there in New Orleans. All right. And this is your boy Kevin Hart. In the breakdown that I have for him that YouTube won't let come up, I was showing you how an episode was about him getting to the highest degree, how he rode the goat. Okay, this is a still picture from the filming of that episode. It was season 5, episode 3. He goes back to his high school called Morning Star High School. All right, Morning Star, for those of you who know the scriptures, the Morning Star is another term for the mother goddess, all right, also known as Venus, all right, or the aka Lucifer, the bright and the morning star. Lucifer can be a so-called male or female, right? In the male form is known as Cush or Nimrod. In the female form known as the mother goddess Venus, also known as Semiramis. All right. Now Christ is also known as the morning star, but on the right hand side in propriety. But the goat or Pan, that's the man known in history as Cush. Okay. He was also known as the first pharaoh of Egypt, Pharaoh Menes, Menes. You can look it up. He was the first so-called pharaoh of Egypt. All right. That's who was referred to, for those of you brothers who read the scriptures in Daniel, the 5th chapter, when the angel wrote the message on the wall, where it said many tekel sepharsim, right? Meaning, your time is numbered, right? Or your days are numbered. Many means number. All right. Like the Pharaoh Menes, he was the great numberer. He was the person who brought the understanding of arithmetic to mankind. All right. He was also the man who brought astrology, astronomy, the sciences to mankind. That's why he was commemorated as Thoth, Thoth. He was the person who set up a lot of the rituals, the rituals that are still used in many of these so-called religions were set up by Cush, also known as Menes or Thoth. All right. He's known in Rome as Janus, Janus. All right. Looking both ways. That's also in reference to Noah, the previous world and the new world. All right. So there's a lot of things that go into what's going on in this society. All right. So peace.